G'day, guys. Welcome back to the Form First podcast, where you're joined with your hosts, Sam and Ben. We are also the co-founders and directors of Form First Studio in Thebsen. How are you, mate?
Very well, thank you, mate. And yourself?
Oh, I'm so good. I'm ready to go. We've got some hot topics yet again.
Absolutely,
I'm
mate.
keen.
Do you want to kick us off with the motivator for the week?
Yeah. Got a good one this week, I hope. My motivator of the week is, to me, the importance of having a hobby or passion outside of your career, outside of your profession. It could be, for me, as an example, it's me and my soccer. For those who don't know, I play soccer on a weekly basis throughout sort of winter with Old Concordians, the collegiate team there. So shout out to Concordia. Been playing there for 6 years, and it's just a nice tune out for me. A Thursday night with our trainings, catch up with the boys. Sometimes we go out for dinner after as a team, and then Saturday games. And it's just a great time just to focus on soccer, to focus on friends. You completely forget about your job, your career. It just separates that daily and yearly grind up for me. And another one for me, I think, is gaming. Is a really good one for me to escape, again, the daily life and the daily grind. Gaming has quite a very negative stigma on it for being lazy and things like that. But I think it's okay to tune the fuck out a little bit and be lazy.
Totally.
Like, embrace it.
Yeah.
And I mean, people calling me lazy or whatever it is for gaming, or calling you lazy for those who are listening, just compare it to them scrolling for the same amount of time on TikTok or Instagram. What's the difference? So I think gaming is a bit more mentally stimulating. I think for me, it's just been really nice to find those things outside of my job and outside of running this place that just reset you a little bit. They bring you back. It's good for your brain to change things up a little bit as well, just to keep it different.
Yeah, I love that, mate. That's fantastic. And I think we all need that out every now and then to just reset after, a long, hard day or a long week.
Can be whatever.
Enjoy that with your friends, or it might be something that you do on your own. Like for me, admittedly, I don't get to do this as much anymore being a dad, but swimming. And it's something that
great one.
I don't actually think about anything while I'm doing it. I just look at the black line and I just swim. I'm just like, no thoughts, just swim.
So good for you. Really
it's fantastic.
Good for you. Yeah.
So I'm going to get back into that now that you've mentioned it.
Yeah. There you go. Yeah. Just a disclaimer. It can be anything. It doesn't have to be soccer or gaming. It can be literally whatever you want to do. You can knit, grandma. Like, do what you want to do. Anything that you enjoy, just completely separate from your career. It doesn't have to make you money. Not everything needs to make you money, because that is just another bit of stress there. Just something that you can take it back. You can do it with your mates, whatever it might be.
Yeah, love that, mate.
Cool.
Great. Mine this week, you might have noticed that I've been posting on socials more often.
Mate, I've been loving it.
And obviously you've been enjoying it, and I've been getting some really good feedback. My follow account says otherwise. So I've been seeing a decline in my followers when I started posting more regularly. And at first I was like, oh, that's like a little bit disheartening to see people go, and it sort of got to me a little bit. But the more I thought about it, I thought, well, the reality is if, they're not in line with my business, they're not the ideal client for me, then they shouldn't follow me, right? They'll gain other followers and potential clients that want to follow along my journey and that want to be coached by me. So a quote that resonates with this is, not everyone will like you, but that's okay, because you don't even like everyone.
Yeah, so be it.
Yeah. And that comes down to like not even just posting on socials, but comes down to like everything you do. And I resonate with this so much because in the past I've always been a people pleaser, yes man, feel like I need to be friends with everyone, that sort of vibe. But at the end of the day, you don't. You just have to do you. And no matter how nice and kind you are, you're always going to have someone that doesn't like you.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
And that's okay.
Yeah,
'Cause you don't like everyone.
Can't let that stuff get you down.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I love that one. That's really good. I think that's something that as I've started to mature and influences from different people in my life, like becoming closer with one of my older sisters, and my partner Indy is also quite strongly willed, and for good reason.
Yep.
I think I was similar to you, people pleaser, wanted to be mates with everyone, wanted to impress everyone, but it's not a thing.
Yep.
Just get your people.
Yep.
You'll be happier.
Agreed, mate.
Lovely.
So a topic that we're going to cover today is training and fat loss plateaus.
Yep.
What to do when you hit them, because it's inevitable, right? You're going to hit plateaus along your journey, whether that's training or nutrition. So I think first things first, let's jump into the training plateaus, right? Because if you were always on a linear progression over time, you're going to run out of dumbbells in the gym, right?
Yeah.
You're going to be lifting those 100-kilo dumbbells for chest press or bicep press.
Yeah.
So, like, say for an example, if you were doing, a dumbbell press for chest, and you were, hitting like a rep range of 8 to 10, and after, an 8-week training cycle, you hit a plateau.
Yep.
It's going to come up. It might not be after the 8 weeks, but it might be into the next training cycle. A good way to approach that is potentially changing your rep range.
Yep.
So going from something like an 8 to 10 rep range to a 6 to 8 or a 4 to 6 rep range. And that way it encourages you to reduce the reps down, but increase the load. Yeah.
Yep.
And then once you decrease the reps and increase the load, then the next training cycle you can bump it up to that high rep range at that same weight.
Yep.
And that's a fantastic way to progress.
Yeah. Yeah, that's great. And that's something that I'll talk from, I guess, a client's perspective on this one, is something that you did for me, where it was probably a little bit into me doing that dumbbell chest press, and there was a certain weight that I was struggling to get above at a certain rep range. So we dialed back the rep range, put me up weight, and now it's a funny thing. Like, my body is now okay to push that weight now at the same rep range I was pushing the other way. It's like a fantastic way around it, and something that I've now been able to implement into my own schedule with all the different exercises. When I feel like I'm a bit stuck, we bring it back and go forward. It's a really good one.
Definitely. Another one is actually changing the exercise itself. Yeah. And it's important not to change that particular exercise too premature as well, because if you aren't progressing on a dumbbell bench press for 2 weeks and then you go, stuffer, I'm going to change it up to something completely different, you probably haven't given yourself enough time to actually progress on that movement. So make sure you're waiting. But if you were, say, looking for an alternative of a dumbbell bench press, like a flat barbell bench press, or a Smith machine bench press, or a machine plate-loaded chest press or pin-loaded, obviously the machine and Smith machine can be a good option because they're a more stable exercise.
Yep.
The barbell bench press can be a good option because it's a straight bar, so you typically will be a little bit stronger. So changing up exercises to alternatives for a training block, say 8 weeks, can be a great way to break through those plateaus. And then again, after that training cycle or 2 training cycles, go back to the dumbbells and guarantee you'll be stronger.
Yeah, absolutely. Do you think that if you get to a plateau, let's say with your training, that you can reassess your form, or something that, again, that you mentioned to me once with the dumbbell chest press, just as an example, was straps for my wrists?
Yep.
Because that is, they're not going to help you lift the weight. It's not, cheating, but it'll help keep that wrist nice and stable and just allow you to focus on pushing through that sort of chest motion, and you won't have to focus on keeping your wrists as stable, because as you get heavier and heavier with your weights, the weaker parts of your body are going to be a little bit more exposed.
Yep.
And for me, I've got a bung wrist, so that was a big helper for me. So do you think that that's something that people can look into as well?
Yeah, for sure. I think like training accessories like wrist straps, wraps, like fantastic ways
belts.
belts, great way to break through plateaus. Like they're those little 1%ers. Other things like, training arousal, like making sure that you're chucking on some good tunes, some pre-workout into the equation as well. Like stuff like that can help you amp up. It's not going to actively just bump you over, but it might, help you get a little bit more out of that lift. The last one that I was going to talk about with breaking through training plateaus is actually taking a step back to reassess your form. So, it kind of sounds a bit counterintuitive because you hit a plateau and then you have to take another step back from the plateau and then change the form. But what that does is you might be, in a position where you're flaring your elbows out too much on a dumbbell bench press, and then you can't push the weight up. So therefore you take a step back, you tuck the elbows in, and then you bump up the weight again after a number of weeks, and then long behold, you can progress more.
Yeah,
right?
That's a great point. Yeah, absolutely. And I think even for me, something that I've learnt is the use of my feet. I can't remember who, might have been you or one of the other trainers here. Their cue was push through your heels, something like that.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's been like, for those last reps, has been a game changer.
Yeah.
Full on game changer. And, you're breathing and everything else, but yeah, great point on the form.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Fantastic. Any more for the training on your end? I think that's it.
No, I think, just having variance in a lot of different aspects of your training will help with those plateaus and like getting past that mental fatigue in a way where you're just a bit like going in loops in your head. So yeah, definitely just keeping it variable and interesting.
Yeah. Oh, actually, last one. I know I said one more last time,
that's
but
right.
one more.
I'll allow it. Yeah.
Is take a deload, right? Like if, say for an example, if your training frequency has been really, really good, then the body's feeling a little bit sore, then take a deload. Still train, just reduce your load down by 30%. Go into the gym, keep the same routine, and then you'd be sweet to push that following week. And the body should be feeling a lot better. The reason that you plateau could be potentially because you're too fatigued.
Yep, absolutely. Yeah, that's a great point. People being afraid of deloading or resting.
Yep.
Yeah, and not knowing if they're fatigued or if this is just how you should feel. Yeah. Absolutely, great point.
The next topic is fat loss plateaus.
Hot topic.
Yeah. We've all been there.
Yeah.
You jump into a deficit.
Yeah.
And week one, you drop down, you have a kilo, 2 kilos loss. Majority of it's probably water. You're saying, yippee, let's go.
Yeah.
And then week 2, you drop 500 grams. Week 3, 200 grams. Week 4, nothing. Plateau.
Week 5, you're back up 200 grams.
Yeah.
And then, mate, when the scale goes back up because you've had a bit more carb, it's game over.
Yeah.
Yeah. Something that's happened to me a while ago now. My mindset is much, much better than it once was. Something that one of my mates is struggling with at the moment is those plateaus and getting through that. So what do you reckon?
First things first, if you've got a coach, leave it up to them. Don't stress over the scales. That's number one.
Don't stress over the scales. Yeah.
Yeah.
Trademark that.
Yeah. All right, on to the next one. I think first things first, you need to assess like realistically how adherent have you been to the plan.
Yep.
Right. If you're on a 2,000 calorie diet and then over the weeks you've started to add on a few little, we call them LBTs, lick, bites and tastes.
Licks, bites and tastes.
Yeah. I don't know if you've ever heard of that before. Yeah. But you think about it, like think about all the little things that you might lick, taste or take a bite of with food. I know where your mind's going.
Where are we going here, mate?
But like those calories add up. Like you get a scoop out of the peanut butter tub, bang, you lick the spoon, 50 calories.
Oh
easy.
No, this is me.
Right? And you do that 3 times a day, there's 150 calories. So it adds up a lot. You need to be very careful about these. So first things first, assess your nutrition adherence. Yeah. If it's no good, if you feel like you can tidy some things up, go back to the drawing board and wait another week. Be 110% compliant. If the weight still stalls, then you're probably going to have to make some changes.
Yep.
Yeah?
Yep.
If you're early on in your cut, so say anywhere from 4 to 6 weeks, then you're probably due for either a decrease in calories or an increase in output in order to increase that calorie gap, right? The calorie deficit.
Yep.
So that would be number one.
LBTs.
LBTs.
I'm a hardcore LBT.
Number two would be if you've been dieting for a little bit longer now. So say you're pushing 6 to 8 to 10 weeks, and the scales are really stalled, and you're stressing about it. You're doing everything. You're grinding. You're really compliant. You're getting extremely tired in the gym. Strength is starting to hit a plateau too. It might even be regressing. Then you're probably due for either a refeed or a diet break. And what that is you bring yourself back up to your new predicted maintenance. So
because your weight's changed.
Your weight's changed. Yeah. Therefore, your total daily energy expenditure has changed also. So you base that off of your new weight, not your starting weight. So that can change, a couple of hundred calories potentially, depending on how much weight you've lost.
Yep.
And you spend a period of time, potentially a couple of days, potentially a week there at maintenance to replenish your energy. And keep in mind that when you go to maintenance calories, you won't put on body fat if you're at your true maintenance, right? And this is where a lot of people get confused because they will go up to maintenance and then, their weight might spike up. And then you're like, well, you're probably not at maintenance, you spilt over, right? Or it could be an increase in glycogen as well. Yep. So more carbs, more glycogen increase. But usually what happens is, I would say 70% of the time, increased calories, client gets way more energy. They put in more effort in the gym. They do more steps. They do more cardio.
Yep.
The weight actually drops.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And this is something with my mate that I've been helping out a little bit with his training program. He's getting ready for a wedding. We had him in, I'd say, a relatively aggressive cut for 3 months.
Yep.
And we pumped him up a couple of hundred calories and he was still technically, I'd say, just under maintenance or in a deficit. And the first week or two, he was kind of like, oh, my weight is maintaining or I'm dropping weight a little bit. And then it started to creep up slowly and he was like, oh, now I feel a bit puffy. And he's scared to go up again to his actual true maintenance, I guess, is what we'll call it.
Yeah.
And that's where that education comes in about the potential of higher glycogen, higher carbs, the water weight's coming back a little bit, stuff that he shouldn't be scared about. And you stop paying attention to your physique.
Yeah.
You start paying attention to your brain and what it's telling you and how it's making you feel and all that type of stuff. So it's a tricky one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Big time.
Nice one. Any more on the fat loss plateaus there?
No, I don't think any other groundbreaking explanations there. Just that if you have that and you've got somebody that you trust that you're training with, always seek comfort through them and seek that honesty from them. It's always going to happen. It's super, super common. You just got to trust the process.
Yeah. Yep. More data, the better, right?
Yeah, more data, the better.
If your scale weight hasn't changed, look at your other data. So look at your progress photos. If you do measurements, look at those and see if there's any change there because the scales might not change, but the body might still be changing.
Yeah.
Right. So, if you lose a kilo of body fat, but you gain a kilo of muscle, the scales are going to look exactly the same, but your physique is going to look very different.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think, and what you're saying, body measurements is in chest circumference.
Like girth measurements.
Yeah, and things like that. And I think that's something Sam's still training me in the background, something that I've been is a new challenge for my brain.
Mm.
Is that I went into a bulk, put on a lot of muscle. Now I'm back in a cut.
Yeah.
And I'm looking better than I was at a certain weight, but I'm still higher in weight. So it's a bit of a, but you remind me that I've gained a fair amount of muscle, not a huge amount, but yeah, that's another tough hurdle. But other than that, we covered it.
Yep.
Done well.
Definitely. And just to finalize on that topic, there's no such thing as starvation mode. So you can keep going down in calories. It'll get tougher, but you will still lose weight and body fat.
Yes.
There's studies on this.
Ah.
Yes.
That's a can of worms.
Yeah. The next topic that we want to go over is how to train around injuries without losing your hard-earned gains.
That's a good one. Did you want me to kick us off here?
Yeah, that'd be good because I think you can speak on this regarding your wrist.
True. That is a very good point. Just to provide a bit of background, this comes from my out-of-career passion, which is soccer. Last year in July, about a year ago now, or a year and a bit ago, got knocked over and decided not to fall on my face and put my hand out and absolutely blew up my wrist. I've been dealing with it for a long time. There was a period of time there where, and this was just when I was starting out getting back into the gym, and we were making like great progress, and it seems like in past years that typically happened to me with ankles and all this other stuff. And I was in a splint for 3 months. So I had to train upper body with cables only for 12 weeks. Not that there was much to maintain there, but still just finding different alternatives. And this can be for clients and this can be for trainers. I feel like some trainers might see an injury and be like, oh, I don't know what to do. Like we could be in trouble here. But finding a safe way around it and maintaining that rhythm and routine with going to the gym for somebody like me is super, super important. So I was willing to do whatever was necessary within reason from guidance from my occupational therapist and a surgeon, my physios and all that type of stuff to maintain what I was doing. And if I can do it with what I did to my wrist and maintain and still train with my mentality that can switch very quickly to I'm not going to the fucking gym today. Anyone can do it. Not with any injury. There can be some shocking injuries, but we found a way around it where I would wear a cuff around my splint, which is a hard splint. Your wrist doesn't move, nothing moves. And I trained every single upper body group with cables for 12 weeks. And kept my routine going, and then the wrist became good enough to where now personally I think I'm smashing it. So that's just, part of the grind. So consulting the right people I think is a really important topic to start on.
Yeah. And I would say like you probably didn't lose much, if any, muscle during that time as well.
No.
Because you were still stimulating the muscle.
Yeah.
And it comes back to that old age saying, if you don't use it, you lose it, right?
Yeah.
And that comes down to training. Yeah. But what I think a lot of people get wrong is when you're wanting to build muscle, it takes a lot of effort to build muscle. Yep. It doesn't take as much effort and load to maintain it, right? Yep. So in your instance, like if you were pushing, 37.5 kilo dumbbells on your chest press and then your wrist happens and you couldn't chest press anymore, or you could only do a little bit lighter, like 30 kilos, you would still maintain all your muscle. Your strength would decline a little bit, obviously, over time, but you would still maintain the amount of muscle that you have.
Yeah.
A typical rule of thumb is like 30% deload. Yep. You should be able to maintain all your load. And
similar rep ranges, things like that is what you mean?
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah, and it was tough. It was very tough for me at that time. It was a tough year in general, but yeah, we tried to find ways around it that the occupational therapist wasn't stoked with, which was continuing with chest press at a lower weight. He's like, no, too much compression, and even pulling I couldn't do. Yeah. So there's all these different things, and then I just kept sort of pestering him and even explain the importance of this to my routine to him. So it's okay to say that to people. If you're as honest as that and say, I need this, I need to find a way around this, then I'm sure most people will try and help you. So he was like, yeah, use it around your widget, your splint, and just keep it to cable work, as low impact as possible. And we managed to do it. Triceps, biceps, back, shoulders, chest.
Yep.
Was all done on cables.
Yeah.
And it was that was mental fatigue at its greatest. Yeah. Wasn't going up in weight, wasn't changing exercises for 3 months.
Yep.
But kept the routine. So
yep.
It's absolutely possible. And even with knee injuries, even with ankle injuries, hip injuries and things like that, obviously guided by the right people, you are going to struggle to find someone that tells you can't train unless you have had, a horrific injury. People want you to move. You need that strength back to get, let's say your knee operating. Physios are going to want you to really get that quad strength back and your hamstring strength back so that you can extend your knee out, even calves and things like that. You're going to struggle to find people that are going to be like, nah, you shouldn't.
Yeah.
You shouldn't do it. There are ways around it.
Yeah.
You'd be surprised.
Definitely. Best thing you can do is keep the body moving.
Yep.
Adapt. If you can't do a specific exercise, then find another exercise that's potentially, an isolation of that you can do in a safe way.
Yep.
On that note as well, super duper important to keep your nutrition in check when you are injured, in particular, keeping your protein intake. A lot of people go, oh, well, I'm injured, therefore I don't need to have my protein powder. I don't need to hit my protein anymore. But muscle protein synthesis will speed up muscle growth and injuries.
That might be the most important time to keep your protein up, is when you're either not training or you're recovering from something. Yeah, absolutely. But yeah, and training through your injuries, like I've just mentioned, is going to help you just that routine. It's like routine is key with everything, even with eating, with drinking your water, doing all that stuff. Yep. So if you need to come back on the range that you're using, that's all okay. We're still getting things moving. Our next topic, guys, is going to be tracking macros versus intuitive eating, and I'm going to let the pro, Sammy, take it from here.
Thank you, mate. Yeah. I think I can cover this.
Yeah, go on.
Yep.
I'm just going to shut up.
Nice.
Go for it. Yeah, finally.
Great topic. I think first things first, let's just say out the box, like you can't intuitively eat without having tracked your macros and your calories before. So what tracking your calories and macros will do is make you very aware of calories and the composition of the particular food, how much protein, carbs, fat, and fiber a particular piece of food or a meal has, right? So when you track first and then go to intuitively eating, you're going to have a much better understanding how to do this.
Yeah.
So I think both tracking macros and calories and intuitively eating has their place.
Mm-hmm.
If you have a very specific goal of fat loss or muscle gain, you're almost always going to be better going down the stricter path, which is going to be tracking your calories and macros. If you're going for more of that intuitive pathway, it's a really good pathway to go down when you're more so at like a maintenance phase, or when you've achieved said goal of losing your weight, your body fat, or gaining muscle.
So would you say that with tracking your macros and intuitive eating, would you say that, like you were saying before, when you get to that certain goal of how you want to look and then not having as much stress on yourself with tracking the macros, you would say that intuitive eating for your clients is more popular? Do you have a lot of clients that tend to go down that path of wanting to be intuitive?
I think it's an end goal for a lot of people.
Yeah.
Right? Because tracking macros, you can't do it forever. Let's be real. You're not going to be 80 years old and tracking macros on MyFitnessPal anymore.
Nah.
I wouldn't assume, right? So intuitively eating is a goal for a lot of people to have. Not everyone, but down the track, because, you know, we can get obsessive over tracking macros. And I think it's really important to do that when your goal specifies you to. Yep. But transitioning away from tracking is just as important and healthy to not track during those times as well. Yeah. I haven't tracked a single macro or calorie in many years now. I think I'd be coming up probably 3 years since I've tracked calories and macros. And I think my physique hasn't degraded. If anything, it has progressed during that time.
Yep.
But the only reason why I can intuitively eat, because my nutrition literacy is so good. And it took me like over 10 years of training to get there. Many years of building, cutting, going through bodybuilding preps. And I was tracking for, I think I added up, it was like 7 years tracking nonstop.
Yeah.
And the only times that I would have off was if I went on holidays. But I would still be sort of
tracking
it here and there, being like
MyFitnessPal never closed.
Yeah, it was always open.
Well, it's a mentality thing, right? And I think either way, when you're first starting out with your fitness goals, tracking your macros, it is stressful and it is difficult. And if you spill over by 5 calories, it's like the end of your week. But I think it's such a good thing when you get that right mindset about it, especially when you start out, you're tracking macros, it just gives you a bit of that confidence. All right, I've either, let's say, especially for a fat loss phase, this is mostly when you're going to be tracking your macros anyway. It's like, all right, I've hit it on the money, or I'm a little bit lower. Cool, set me up for the next day. I feel great. I'm going to do it again. And you just, if you can get yourself in that routine and get through Saturday and Sunday, which we all know is tough, I think that really sets you up well. And then on the other end of it, when you get to your goals and you've got that good literacy, like you said, it's a great one for your brain to be intuitive with it, because then that part of eating food is sort of gone, to where you know enough now and you're happy enough with your progress that you can eat intuitively and change meals up a lot. Now, you can change meals up a lot when you track your macros, sure, but it's a lot more difficult to do than intuitively eating, where you're just going to be like, cool, this is what I'm doing for dinner tonight. I'm doing chicken burgers with potato, whatever, something like that. So I think they're both just great in their own way for mentality at different ends of the spectrum. And it's something that I did. I've tracked my calories before on and off. My literacy with it has become, far, far greater than it ever was because of me asking Sam 20 billion questions. And my own interest in personal training and nutrition, to where you put me in a bit of a maintenance and a bit of a gaining phase.
Yep.
And I was spending a lot less time tracking it to the exact macro, because I sort of knew that I could spill over a tad, and I gave myself a general meal plan to run off of. Knew my measurements for most lean meats. Veg that gets pretty easy over time, and your carbs and stuff. And it was great to have that freedom. Yeah. And just come in with that extra energy to just be pumping weights. So, I think that's a really important one. I think we've covered that well with when to do it, when not to. Yeah. You got to put in the hard yards.
Definitely. And I think it's not for everyone as well, intuitively eating, that is. And tracking macros, so it's not for everyone. Yeah. But that being said, like, when you are intuitively eating, sometimes people can get let off the hook in a way, and then their protein intake slips. They're not eating their fruit and veg anymore. They're spilling over their calories. So what I do with my clients that intuitively eat, I get them to do a nutritional recall. And when we go initially from tracking macros and calories to intuitively eating, we start with one day per week where we track macros and calories. And then we do a nutrition recall. If all's looking well, their calories are good, their protein, carbs, fats, fiber, all that's all looking good, then we go to once a fortnight. And then once a fortnight to once a month. And then usually I keep it at once a month recall just to make sure that, because after a month, things can start to slip up a little bit. So it's good to do that recall monthly basis.
Absolutely. Yep. And you'll only learn, like if your goal is to get that good physique like mine is, where I cut down, I bulked up, I probably slipped a little bit too far into the bulk, which is fine. Like I'm at the point with my mentality that I understand that, and that's part of me learning, and that I can always cut again, which is what I'm doing now. Unfortunately, no. But I know now when I go into my next maintenance or my next gaining phase that I might need to come a little bit more back into the tracking the macros, like you said, once a week, whatever it might be, just to make sure that I'm not being too crazy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, it's a great point. Yeah. Really great point.
Nice.
Anything else on that from you?
No, I think we covered that nicely.
Yeah. Nicely done.
We're going to talk about alcohol and the effects that it has on training and recovery. So first things first, alcohol and training and recovery are not friends.
Not mates.
Alcohol stunts muscle protein synthesis. And for those that don't know, that is basically the building blocks to recover and build muscle.
Yep.
And it's a sliding scale, right? Like if you have one drink after you work out versus 10 drinks after you work out, they're both going to have a very different effect, right?
Big time.
Yeah. So I think having a drink every now and then, alcoholic drink, is completely okay and safe.
Yep.
But if you're someone that has one or multiple drinks every single night or during the day, there's probably an issue with that. If your main goal is to build muscle and or lose body fat, you should be allocating those calories elsewhere, like protein and actual nutrition. And that's going to help you recover and reach your goals a lot faster.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think for me, I enjoy a tasty alcoholic beverage every now and then. I'm not somebody who drinks during the week, like ever. We don't have alcohol in our fridge. Never have. It's not something that interests me that much during the week. But on the weekend, I've got, a group of friends that loves to get together and drink, which, like you said, is fine. And I'm going to sort of take it away from the whole fat loss and the effect on calories it has, because that's, a given. But for me, I think depending on how much I've had, that wrecks me now for the next couple of days. And you can push through it all you like, but you're going to have a shit training session. The next day, the day after, ruins your sleep, ruins your motivation, your energy, and it does things in the background and it does things actively as well. You either don't go to the gym the next day when you were planning to, and Sunday is one of my gym days. So if I wreck my Saturday night, think I want to do anything? Nah. My punishment is going to do things, going out and running errands on a hangover. But yeah, not only does it obviously affect you at the time, it's those passive effects that you don't feel that are the real killers.
Yeah, for sure. And drinking doesn't cost you just the day after. It costs you the day you drink, the day after, and sometimes even the day after that.
Yeah.
Say at least 2 days, probably 3 days.
Yeah.
To fully get that out of your system and get that motivation back. Because drinking alcohol, especially if you have a big night, it really affects your REM sleep. And you have a bad sleep, you wake up in the morning, that's why you're feeling so groggy. You can still be social and have fun without alcohol.
Or with limited amounts.
Yeah, with reduced amounts. Like, I grew up in the country, small country town, and the drinking culture is cooked.
Yeah.
It's pub every night, drinking, loads of beer, footy, all that stuff. And look, I grew out of that, but I found it really hard when I transitioned into going to the gym from, I was 18, 19 when I started. So I was in that sort of party era, and I still was social during that time, but I found that it was very hard to say no, because my mates were like, "Oh, should be drinking. That's
You're being a
what we
pussy.
do."
Yeah.
Yeah, but if your mates aren't supportive of your goals and they make fun of you for not drinking, you should probably find new mates.
Yeah, simple as that. Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely. And it's something that I'm currently finding difficult is my mates. They don't give me shit or anything like that, but it's something that, like, I'm not going to blame it on anyone else. It's something that I enjoy. I love going out with my mates, having a couple of bevies, getting a bit tipsy or a bit beyond that. And for me, someone like me who's a little bit of a bigger person, takes a while for me to get going. Takes multiple drinks, especially if I've had dinner. And yeah, even if you're not feeling the effect of being drunk, the alcohol is doing work. Like I was saying before, in the background, it's wrecking you. And I've got a lot of events coming up. I was just talking to Sam about this before the episode, where, I'm going to cut myself, and I'm not cutting for anything in particular. I'm not cutting. Summer isn't really my motivation. My motivation is to eat more food again, is to get down to a good look and be able to go back into a bit of a maintenance phase. But yeah, it's this next couple of months is going to be really tough for me. I've got some great events coming up. I've got a good mate's wedding coming up that I'm training him for. I've got his bucks coming up. I'm going to the darts. There's, Metallica concert. There's heaps of things coming up that I'd love to drink at.
Yeah.
But I know it's not only going to wreck my progress, it's going to wreck my mentality completely.
Yeah. Yep.
So this is going to be a challenging couple of weeks. So stay fucking tuned. I may or may not be on this podcast in a couple of episodes, but yeah, it's just one of those things where the switch needs to flip, like it has for you.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, you think about like that mentality of like, well, if you're in a cutting phase and you're at an event and you look at that alcoholic beverage and you say, well, if I have this alcoholic beverage, will this get me close to my goals? Yes, no. If yes, have it. If no, don't have it. Have something else. Like, no one's forcing you to drink alcohol. And if you need alcohol to be social, you need to work on some shit internally.
Yeah.
Realistically, right?
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Like, I think for me, that was something that I always worried about, is what I'm like without the alcohol. Like, if I just ruin the vibe. And I see myself, or like hear from other people what I'm like without alcohol. And a lot of the time I'll bring the vibe in that sense. Yeah. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you underestimate yourself and just feel boring when you're not drinking and you're not drunk and being an idiot. Like, you're just like, oh, I'm definitely going to ruin it. Like, I'm going to stick out like a sore thumb. You're not. You can still have a good time. Like, you have a good time during the day without alcohol with your mates. You have a great time without, like, with it, whatever.
Yep.
But it's just taking that first leap, that first event without alcohol. See how you go.
Yep.
Give it a crack.
Yep. And if you desperately need a drink, if you're someone that's, dying to have a drink, just have a spacer. Like, have a drink, then have a spacer, right?
Yeah.
Spacer being a water or a soft drink, sugar-free soft drink, then have another alcoholic beverage and then another spacer. You will cut your alcohol content in half.
I think, yeah, it's a great point as well, man. For me, it's just like having something to drink.
Yeah. So what's the difference?
Yeah.
Just having
a lot of the time
sugar-free
it's
beverage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Beer, water. Doesn't have to be water. Beer, non-alcoholic beer. Your mates won't know.
Yeah. Well, like, the non-alcoholic beers are making waves, and like they still have calories in them.
Yeah.
But like every wedding that I've been to recently, they've had non-alcoholic beer there as well. So I think there's a new wave coming. A lot of people just, maybe they like the taste of beer or alcohol, but they're having the non-alcoholic version, which I'm all for.
Yeah, and for those that are having children, your wife can't drink for 9 months.
Mm-hmm.
They're sitting there having non-alcoholic and water at events that you're going to. you can fucking do it, mate.
Yeah.
Come on.
Totally.
Honestly.
Use some willpower.
Think about the kid. No. I can't say that. I don't have one. Yeah, I think that pretty well covers that really well. Is there anything else that maybe an example from your clients that isn't me, or anything like that?
Oh, look, I think if you do end up having a big night, I think the best thing you can do the next day is just get up and try and keep a similar routine. So, get up, get hydrated, stay hydrated, get some movement in, go for a walk, go to the gym, sweat it out, and keep your nutrition as usual.
Yeah.
Like I know that next day all you want to do is go to Macca's and, get some hash browns and a double bacon egg McMuffin. But the best thing you can do is just keep your protein intake, get your fruit and veg in, and you will feel better for it.
Yeah. You don't, like, if you're feeling that shit and you don't get to the gym, at least, like Sam said, little walk around, whatever it might be, potter around the house as much as you can, doing those little tasks. They're still steps.
Yeah.
Whatever it might be, you're still moving, which is great. And it just wakes you up a little bit more rather than sitting and slugging and eating and doing that stuff. You just feel a little bit less hungover than if you were to just lie in bed all day. And I think, yeah, that's a good point. The food was always a thing for me. Not the day after, but the night of.
Yeah. Yeah. That's
whether I'd had dinner or not, I'm walking past HJ's. So I'm not ignoring the Whopper.
Yeah. Do you know why that is?
No.
So when you drink alcohol, your hunger hormones, leptin and ghrelin, go out of whack.
Wankers. I hate them.
Yeah. So that's why when you're drunk, you can eat so much food because your hunger hormones are like, we're not full. Keep eating, bro.
Yeah, and then
then you keep eating, plus the alcoholic calories that you're having in conjunction with the highly palatable, highly calorie dense foods. There you go.
Game over.
Yep.
You've pretty much just wrecked that week that you've just spent working your ass off.
Yep.
In one night.
Yep.
A lot of people wouldn't know how many, I don't want to scare anyone, but how many calories they'd consume in one night of drinking and eating. Like,
well, I mean,
it can be like 2 days worth.
Yeah, for sure. Like, a shot of spirits is around 80 calories.
That's mad.
Plus, most people have like a mixer in with that. So like if you're drinking like, I don't know, what do people drink these days? I don't drink Jack and Coke or something like that. 80 calories from the spirit and then the Coke, say full sugar, you're probably getting an extra 100, 150 calories. So you're looking at, around, say, ballpark figure 200 calories for a drink. In a night, you might have, 10?
5 to 10, let's call it that.
Yeah. So, I don't know, can't do quick maths, but that's a lot.
It's over 1,000.
Yeah. Plus the extra food that you have on top of that. Keep in mind.
And you're not just getting one slice of pizza or anything.
You're
having
that's
the whole thing.
And then the next day.
Yeah, adding on the hangover recovery food.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolute killers.
So if you are someone that is trying to break out of those bad habits, hit me up, SammyShreds_coaching for all your coaching needs. And if you're currently listening to this podcast with a sore back, neck, elbow, knee, anything like that, please hit up Ben at Core Remedial for all your massage and recovery needs. And if you are looking for a nice private training studio with no lines, nice clean studio, please get in contact with us at Form First Studio for our 24/7 gym membership.
Nice one.
Awesome, mate. Well, thanks for tuning in, guys, and we will see you next week for the next episode.
Ciao.
Bye.